Right now I am quite excited about the Black Ops battleships, and I think I will fly the Panther, but we will see. I know the Panther is using turrets, and I'm basically maxed out in projectile turrets, so I think the Panther will work really well in my case, but we will see. We'll still have to see the actual ship in the game, of course. And I have also decided to sell some of my ships. The Tempest Fleet and the Megathron Navy will be up on sale, and I'll quickly show the build on these ships. I'm basically selling them with the rigs and with the builds, with the exact same build that I will show you on the screen in a moment. So if you're interested, well, just send me a message. I believe the Megathron Navy is valued at about 12.5 billion and the Tempest Fleet is valued at about 9 billion. So if you're interested in any of these ships, I think it's a pretty fair offer based on the modules and the rigs that I slapped into these things. And their price will only keep on going up since the boxes for these ships are gone. I haven't checked the prices on the cruisers and on the frigates, but here is the build on the Tempest Fleet. I mean, I definitely went a little bit overboard with the rigs, but it was worth it. These things are floating bricks, and I love them. And they truly lived up to my expectation. Because when I looked at these ships for the first time, I kind of wanted to make them behave like the Marauders from EVE Online, and I kind of achieved my goal, honestly. I created something that's ridiculously hard to kill and ridiculously tanky. Here you can take a look at the overall list. 4.3 billion estimated price with the modules, and the ship itself is about 5 billion since their prices went up. And where is the Megathron Navy? I'll also show the build on this thing. Now the Megathron Navy, I think it surprised me the most because, I mean, this thing is recommended to be used with the thermocirculation implant because it's literally tank on top of tank on top of tank. If there is a armor tank ship, it's this thing. I don't have anything else that's as tanky as this. Maybe the Revelation, but you know, I don't really fight the Revelation anymore, and the rigs of the Revelation are pulled out, so yeah, the Revelation is kind of disassembled, but this thing is one of my most heavily armored armor tanks. Well, heavily armored armor tank, kind of funny how that goes. One of the most heavily tanked ships that I have. It even has B-types, which are obtained from PvP. So overall, this is definitely the more expensive ship that I have on sale at the moment. And if you want to fly it, well, 12.5 billion. That's the price tag on this thing. And let me just double check the price on the 3.3 estimate. Well, the real price is like 5.1 billion, and it's rising. So yeah, definitely getting a bit expensive, and it's just a start. Now I also have to do some market stuff when I have time. I have to sell some things from my station here. So definitely going to be fun, that's for sure. In any case, we will have some. It's going to be a. I think I have some pretty hilarious footage for you today. Well, when I say hilarious, I think I have some pretty nice kills. And with that being said, let's start. Now, as usual, in this case, I'm a little bit late to the party. I was basically AFK. My friends warped in. There was a Ralsik, and I have tackled Ralsik. As you can see, I missed out on the shield part since the Ralsik is already in armor. Well, technically, when I was landing, the Ralsik was already taking some heavy shield damage, but yeah, I landed just in time to shoot the Ralsik at armor. Now I went with the Megathron Navy here. The first ship I had in my station, I basically undocked with it because, you know, I didn't want to miss out on a and juicy ship, and well, the Megathron Navy saw some action here as well. That was a very nice catch. I'm glad that I managed to land on. Now the Megathron Navy does get a inertia bonus, which means that this thing will warp fast. It will align fast and it will warp fast. Basically, that allowed me to get here on time. Well, on time. A little bit late, but I still managed to land before the ship got killed. So definitely a speedy ship. It's not as fast as a Macarial. Definitely not as fast as a Macarial, but the tank on this thing is just absolutely insane. And it's a floating brick basically, and it's really hard to kill this thing. It was able to tank quite a bit of damage, although the Tempest fleet had an encounter with a super capital and it survived. So 4 billion kill, nice. Look at those stabs. 1 million stabs on that ship. Next target we have a Oracle, I believe. Now I went with the Macarial because I felt like I haven't been flying this, although time and time again I keep telling myself that I should stop flying this Macarial and that I should buy a new one, and basically to pull that ship back to Syndicate, because this is my old Macarial. I've had this ship for like 3-4 years now, so would be a waste if it were to be destroyed. So I definitely need to retire this thing for once and buy a new Macarial that's going to be, a lot less.
Warp drive
I'll
active.
definitely be a lot less careful with the new Macarial, because that ship has like, it's not 4 years old, and I tend to keep my old ships alive for as long as possible. This is my oldest ship, by the way. Nothing is as old as my Macarial at the moment. Maybe some of the low tier ships, but the oldest ship in service that I still have is the Macarial. And this ship, as I mentioned probably 1,000 times before, has had a very nice journey and a very, very nice lifetime. So I messed up with the warping, or I think they moved. They were really close to this position where I landed at. So I think the Oracle has moved, which is fine. And they warped off, which means time to...
Warp drive
I think
active.
I'll get the Stratus out. Yeah, I got the Stratus out. Oh, okay. No, this Stratus is a experimental build. It has C-type large rapid missiles, and it has some very nasty drones as well. So it is one ship that I'm kind of playing around with at the moment, because I want to do something
Warp
new,
drive
and
active.
I figured out, well, let's try a Stratus with large weapons, because this thing has tons of power grid and it can fit large weapons. Now, against most ships I don't even need to have a tank, because against most ships I'm orbiting at 0 and they are unable to hit, and that also includes this Oracle. Alright, so the Oracle is about, I see it's about 35 kilometers from the mission. Alright, fair enough. I will warp back, and actually, let me see. Should I warp or should I approach? I think let's just warp back, it will be faster. Warping to the station, and then I will return to the Oracle. They're using
Warp drive
pulse
active.
lasers, although large pulse lasers. Even if I get webbed, I have 3 webs and an afterburner. They probably stab, but let's see if... I feel like the Oracle might be a bait, so although I'm not really sure if they have stabs, they have stabs. It is what it is. I'll just warp back. Well, if they warp, I'll accept that as victory, since they warped and I remain on the grid. Although 3
Warp
webs and a
drive
scrambler
active.
should be enough for me to speed tank the Oracle with pulse at 0, since after all we're talking about large lasers. They have good tracking, but at 0 their tracking is not going to be that good, so I'm not really worried about being hit at 0. Even if I get webbed, I should still be faster than the Oracle. Alright, let's approach. And this is one important thing to have with the Stratus when you're attempting to do something like this. You need to have an afterburner, because a micro water, if you get scrambled, will be turned off. So a afterburner is very, very important for speed tanking large weapons at 0. Not large weapons, it's not going to work against heavy missiles, but it's going to work against turrets. And drones, sentry drones. Or actually large drones might be nasty, but depending on the ship. Against ships with large drones, I'll definitely use something else. Now, based on the speed that they're clearing the mission, I would say that's a very... they have high DPS, and probably a full DPS build as well, orbiting at 0. Scrambled web, one of my webs did not activate, I just noticed that. Will be activated in a moment. I have approached at 0, I'm orbiting at 0. I'm below the gun score, so they can't do much anymore at this moment. Well, they can warp off, that's one thing that they can do, I guess, but they are going to be unable to hit me. I got web scrambled and a neutralizer, okay. Based on the... oh, and look at that. What did I say? Stabs. I mean, I'm not even surprised by that anymore. And it's always the stab ships that throw salt the most. Although they don't realize that if they didn't have stabs, they would be dead. So, yeah. Well, let's go to the next target. We have a Harvey, and I'll warp at about 16 kilometers. I am in the cells.
Warp drive active.
And I am going in with this thing. I mean, this thing is... If I ever had a favorite cruiser, I think it would be the cells. It's started as a joke, as a cloaky Cinnabel, right? Never thought I would actually get to fly one. And this is one of the worst warpings I've ever had, since I started to play the game. Yeah, obviously they'll warp off. Why did they warp at 16? Well, they moved. That's why. They were closer. Well, they moved. And well, that's when you call the Stratus for help. Nothing runs from a cloaky Stratus, that's for sure. And they're back at 100 kilometers. Beautiful.
Warp drive active.
Well, time to be sneaky, and I really wish that the RB had the same ability as the Stratus to insta-lock targets. I would fly the RB over the Stratus any day, but unfortunately the RB has a cloaker activation delay, and you can't lock immediately, while the Stratus can just sneak up to 0 and tackle, basically. That's why I fly this thing. It's the nastiest tackle in the game.
Warp drive active.
Maybe not the most cost-effective tackle, because you have bombers which can do the same thing for much cheaper, but you know, for solo the Stratus is unmatched. And right now I'm doing a bit of solo, so it's going to be quite effective at what I'm doing here. And that's a good warping, I think. Ooh, that's actually a very good warping, okay, much better than the first time, that's for sure. Now they are aligned, and if I had landed with the cells, they would warp off. Definitely, there's just no way. They're aligned, and they're basically prepared to see me warping in, but they are not expecting to see a cloaky Stratus. No one expects a Stratus, although you should always expect a Stratus, best tackle in the game. And if you're aligned, yeah, that's a good chance that there is a Stratus creeping up to you. And they're scrambled their web. Orbit at 0. Now medium lasers might be able to do some damage on me, but I'm personally not really worried about that, since I'll orbit at 0 and I have dual webs. They have one web and a point and a neutralizer, but that's fine. I think I'll be able to speed tank beam lasers at 0 without much of a problem. And so far it seems to be working. I'm taking a little damage. I think that's the damage from the drone, or I might be taking some little damage from the beam lasers, but for the most part, as you can see, the ship is holding really well. I'm not taking any serious damage, so it works. And I'm using the large rapid missiles as well, by the way. It's visible based on the effect. which is hilarious to use large missiles on the Stratus, but it works, and I'm not complaining about that. It's actually pretty solid so far. Alright, destroyed. I got some C-types. Not bad. I'll take the loot, and I will warp out. Alright, time to vanish, literally, since I can cloak. Yeah, I love the Stratus because of how sneaky it is. If you fail to tackle something with any ship, just take the Stratus. It's 100% guaranteed tackle. Very little chance for a target to escape. Only if you like lag, or if your internet isn't good, then the target might escape. But the Stratus tackle is unmatched. This thing is just, for this purpose, unmatched. At least up until we get some new ships, maybe, I don't know. We will see, anything is possible. Let's take a look at the kill. 300 million, not bad. Although the loot drop could be better, but you know, I'm not going to complain about loot. You know, recently once I started not really to pay much attention to the loot and stuff, basically, you know, just aim to have fun. I started to enjoy the game a lot more, honestly. This is really a fun game. And
warp drive active.
I mean, it's obviously not perfect. I mean, no game is perfect. Every game has problems, but it's still a very, very fun game. And you can easily have fun without spending much ink, honestly. Cheap fun is absolutely possible. Now we have a prophecy. Let's see. Warping at about 70 kilometers.
Warp drive active.
With my good old trusty Celos. Although maybe I should have picked the Stratus out for this target. I don't know. I have a new project ship, which I'm currently skilling for. Surprisingly, imagine this. I don't have battlecruiser skills. Well, I didn't have. Now I do have. I have some of them. Yeah, that's a horrible warping. Obviously, that prophecy will escape. Yeah, no way I'm catching that. I have plans for some new ships. Cheaper ships. Basically.
Warp drive active.
When it comes to battlecruisers, I have a couple ideas for a Tornado and I think a Guardian. All of which will be PvP ships. So hopefully I do get to use them. Usually it depends on the targets. I pick the ship depending on the target and on the... Basically I try to get the best possible counters imaginable. So I mean that's how you play basically rock, paper, scissors. If you know your opponent will have rock, you pick paper, right? So... Oh look, a Dramiel, alright, interesting. Now this Dramiel has been skiing around all day long basically. And... we decided to set up a little surprise for them, and they warped in and they warped out. Okay, guess a Vexor Navy is a bit too scary for a Dramiel. I mean, drone boats are kinda scary when you think about it, since drones eat frigates alive. Fair enough. Seems the Dramiel warped off somewhere. Well, there's going to be more chances to catch the Dramiel. No big deal. No worries. There's going to be more opportunities. Although I'm also thinking about some new implants. What should I even do? I feel like I need to get some new ships, get some new implants. Although I don't know which ones to get. That's the problem. Maybe level up some new ones, maybe not. I have absolutely no clue. Now here we have a chameleon, and this chameleon has been sitting here for quite a while. So we have decided that it might be time to do a yeet. And when I say a yeet, I mean this chameleon is not going to be safe at the gate here. We have some big guns headed this way that kind of wants to, let's say, delete this ship from existence, which we can do easily. We have some ships that are I'm just going to delete that for... They're going to delete most ships in like a single hit. There is actually... You'll be surprised, but... Oh, hold a second. It locked. This... Yeah, I wish I had a scanner. I really wish I had a scanner, but... This is why I should have like 7 different ships with seven different builds, and every one of these ships should be prepared for every possible situation. If I had a scanner, that chameleon would have been scanned down and I would be already on top of it. And they logged back in. Okay, that's interesting. Now what was I talking about 5 seconds ago? I forgot. Never mind. The chameleon is surprisingly a popular ship for Sino journeys. This chameleon is probably a Sino ship, since it has that cooldown, the bonus on the Sino, which is a pretty solid bonus. Although the chameleon can also be used for PvP. And they went to the station. Okay, well, let's follow, I guess. I'll warp at 100. Oh yeah, now I remember what I was talking about. So we have certain ships
Warp
built
drive
for...
active.
But let's say they're built for being sentry guns on low sec gates for AFK ships. So we have ships that can delete battleships into hits. And we have ships that can delete tanky cruisers, battle cruisers in basically 1 to 2 hits. And they're also very cheap. So basically it's throwaway ships that are designed to be destroyed by gate guns, but at the same time the trade-off is really good because you are ISK positive in the end, and a chameleon is worth quite a lot. It's a very expensive little boat, so yeah, definitely worth to eat a striker battleship for a chameleon. And here you can take a look at that Dramil scanning around. They're basically like spamming that scanner like there's no tomorrow. It's kind of funny because they're literally like notifying everyone in the system that they're scanning. So that's kind of funny how that works. And there is a Dramil warped in, very close to me actually, 4 kilometers, since we both warped at 100. But I'm close to the gate, so it should be okay. Now my friend went to the gate, and they're going to be warping back to the station. Oh, look at that. Sino opened. Lovely. Let's see what ship comes. And it's obviously not going to be, well, probably not going to be a super carrier, because super carriers can't really dock in normal stations. So, there we go. A revelation. Beautiful. I kind of miss my own revelation, honestly. Well, I say I miss it. It's still there. It's still in the station. Hasn't been sold, but I don't know. I'm not really sure if it's worth for me to go back to it. Been thinking about that quite often lately. And I don't know, with so much salt on that ship, I don't think it's worth to fly it anymore, because what would be the point of... I mean, it's just, I don't know, the huge targets on the back of that ship. And well, I've been taught from EVE Online, if you have a ship with a huge target on its back, just don't fly it. Just keep it somewhere on the side and fly something else. Well, let's see if this chameleon will blow up. My friend returned. Oh, well, chameleon warping out, and yeah. Alright then. We were kind of too slow today. It happens, not a big deal. We were just seconds away from having a very good laugh at seeing that chameleon blowing up. Anyway, back to the good old RB for a second. Now, actually, did rework the RB a little bit, and planning to use this ship a bit more often. We have a Imicus Explorer, which is kind of a rare target. There we go. Nice. My RB is mostly built for solo, although it's kind of a fleet support ship nowadays because of how many stabs you have around, but the RBs tracking the Stratus are nasty. And if you have an RB on your team, and if they have a general unit for the tracking the Stratus, your opponent is not hitting anything. No way in hell. Maybe if they get lucky, but the RBs tracking the Stratus are really nasty, and they can cripple the turrets of any ship. So it is a very vicious little boat. And surprisingly, this seems to be... I don't know what was the purpose of that explorer. Looked like a combat explorer. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's a purpose for that ship. Next target, we have a oracle. I am burning towards the oracle. I have about 45 kilometer drone control range, but I want to be within the point range and around the optimal range of my tracking disruptors. It is not the fastest RB, that's for sure. I have to fix the speed on this thing. I'm not really happy with the speed on the RB. It is fast, but not as fast as I feel like it should be. So that's one thing I have to fix on this thing. And this was a 296 million oracle, a sniper oracle. I was stabbed, of course, but there is no stabs in double, so works really well. And Ortus, although I believe this Ortus will... yeah, this Ortus is going to be burning out. Yep, the hours was fast. Okay, fair enough. Maybe if I had something else, maybe I would have been able to catch the Ortus, but you know, I guess you can't catch all ships. It happens that some escape. It's fine. It's just part of the game. And our bubble kind of messed up the approach. Next we have a cyclone. Let's burn through the cyclone. Now against a cyclone, I'm obviously not going to do much since I have tracking disruptors and the cyclone is using missiles. So yeah, obviously not going to do much. And somehow I got the kill. I feel like I stole the kill. We're about to find out. Yeah, I think I stole that kill. By complete accident. Let's take a look. Yep, stolen. 135 million, a close range, okay. Well, at least it's not a cursed build. Yeah, it's, I guess, one positive little thing. It's not cursed, but... yeah, and I have 48 kilometer range with the drones. My apologies. Well, it's not 45, it's 48. Okay, that's interesting. 48 kilometers. That's good to know. Next target, we have a Venture 4 coming in. A very rare little boat. Well, I say rare. It's not that you see a Venture 4 every day, to be honest. So definitely going to attempt to destroy it. This is... I'm now in the Tempest fleet. Well, first hits missed. I had the barrage implant on, which reduced my range. First hits did hit the shield a little bit. Looks like the Venture has a micro warp drive. They're fast. Our bubble is a little bit slow. I think our bubble is using an afterburner. I wish the Tempest had a little bit more range. Would definitely be hitting a lot more. I love how one of my turrets keeps missing, one of my groups keeps missing, while the other group hits, and yeah. If I did land just one more hit, the Venture will be destroyed, but you know, it's fine. Next target, we have a Prophecy. Let's quickly engage the Prophecy. This should be a very quick little kill. Focusing fire. Prophecy now in armor. Well, first two hits deleted the shield basically. Okay, well, the Prophecy is tanky, of course, as expected from a Prophecy. They're usually tanky. Okay. Low armor, now they're in the hole. And the Prophecy has been destroyed. Nice. Nice little kill. Alright, well, that was a nice little run today with all of these ships. Still very excited for the Black Ops, and kind of sad that that I will be selling the navies, but I feel like the ships are definitely going to be better off in. I mean, I say better off. I don't know. I feel like I build these ships. I feel like I'm unworthy to fly these ships, to be honest. So that's why they are on the market. I haven't been flying super expensive stuff in a while, and I feel like other players might take advantage of this tank more efficiently than I would. So if you're interested in the navies, definitely chat me up. The price is already known, so yeah, we will see. We will see what will happen. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.